The first time we talked, you were painting walls in your brewery, and I think
Yeah,
did it open that first season or
yeah,
in the
yeah.
fall, right?
August. Yeah,
So
it was August.
so what goes into, I guess, the whole what give us the background. Why did you want to do it?
Yeah,
What goes into it? Inspiration, like, and then because
I,
we were in season, you were doing things all of the time,
oh my
like
gosh, it was insane. So, as a teacher, like, um, Red Dragon Brewery kind of started in my brother's garage, several years prior to, maybe 6 years prior to, and we were just making things and perfecting batches and giving it away and for weddings and things like that. People were giving us feedback, so that we knew we needed to go and open up a place. And like our, Celtic heritage, we wanted to open up a pub like you'd find, in any little town in Yorkshire or in Wales or Ireland. And so we wanted that. And so we were fortunate enough to find a place in a residential area, which, took some doing. But so I was in the building process like the entire summer. So, I'd come and do the coaching, and then I'd go back to the brewery and then work until dark. And then, I mean, just to get that thing open. And I remember we had our first game, and that was opening night at the brewery in massive thunderstorms. We lost power at the brewery. And so our what do you call it? The cash registers were on batteries, and so they worked. And so people were just swiping. We had a line around the block, people trying to get in, and it was just the inside was flooding. Water was rushing through all the windows everywhere. The roof, we didn't know if the roof was going to be like okay or not. But anyway, people just happy milling about, no air conditioning, drinking beers in the pitch dark. We had these little battery candles that we put everywhere. And anyway, that was opening night, and it was like after the first soccer game of the season. It was crazy. It was crazy. So anyway,
that's nuts. I forgot it did that. I forgot that happened.
yeah, yeah. And
So
so it was like, yeah, but
what goes into, like, opening and then running a place like that, like in the like getting it off the ground? Because now it's like it's been thriving. You guys were, I think, what, number 6 on like the top 50 breweries in Virginia or something like that. What was
yeah,
that list
yeah,
you put out today?
yeah. It was, I mean, just awesome breweries, and it's just really humbling to be a part of that, given the fact that COVID has been so hard for breweries, especially in Fredericksburg. I mean,
Hmm.
just really, really hard. We saw our good friends at Spencer Devon, pack it up. And um, but anyway, it's for us, once we had our design and we built the brewery out, we had to realize what's and evaluate what expectations are. So we had a plan. So we had this massively written out plan. My brother and my best friend Dan, um, they're the big two leads in the ownership of the brewery. And so we had like a foolproof plan. We thought, we hired a brewer who's a like awesome biochemist from down in South Carolina. And then we just had to put the right staff in. And here we are, I think 6 years in, and we've got the right staff in. I mean, it's like a family. And uh, it's been, try, test, and revise, try, test, and revise. And it's just been a huge process. We've been a highly ranked brewery forever, and that's just amazing to us. You don't distribute. So kind of, I was talking to one of the other owners, Dan, today. It's like, if you look at that list of the top 20 breweries in Virginia, we're by far the smallest brewery there. So how do you get your name out? How do you get your product out? Well, you distribute. So, 25 places around the state have your cans of beer or your kegs of beer or something like that. We don't have any of that. We don't have any of that. Nothing. We have word of mouth and just an amazing staff and taproom experience. And so, how are we competing with 15 to 50 barrel breweries when we're only 4 barrel brewery? And so you're not getting,
Because your beer is freaking good.
I mean, man, I kind of like it. But again, it's pretty interesting. Beers do get traded like all over when there was a beer trade, so people are untapping beers and putting on the social media apps like all around the state, all around the Eastern Seaboard. But since COVID, it's just been like it's just a different kind of brewery. And so we are now, I think, people are coming into the tap room and kicking their feet up. They were afraid of doing that, right? So they would rush in, grab a growler, and then rush out. And part of this whole dream that my brother and Dan and I had was that this was going to be a pub like anywhere in the UK, right? So bring your food in, whatever. Yeah, come on and have some beers and sit at the bar and just chat with us, right? That was the dream. And so when people are just grabbing beers and going, it makes it really tough. Really tough. But,
yeah. Before COVID, when I was in there, that was definitely, I think still to this day, hands down, the best experience in a like tap room or pub, or like, because a lot of places are like
thanks,
food,
man.
no food allowed, or like, but it's so relaxed. Like you guys genuinely don't care because you know that people are gonna like, oh, can I sneak some snacks in or like whatever the case, but you just want people there to hang out, and it's so relaxed, and it's so like I remember before Jenna's volleyball games on the weekends, I would just come to the brewery and hang out for like 2 hours and just chat.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. And it's not. I'm not the only chatty Cathy in the bunch too.
For sure, definitely not. Yeah, I was able to make friends with some of the bartenders who were there, or just like it was just a really fun time. Like, yeah, it was just it's almost indescribable. Like you have to go and actually experience what it's like. I think the best thing to compare it to almost is like a coffee shop, but with beer. It's kind of like it's like a mix. It's like it's got a coffee shop vibe where you can just chill and like do whatever, but instead of coffee, it's beer. Yeah. And for me, that's perfect because I don't really drink coffee. So I was like, yeah, I'll go drink beer instead. It's better.
There you go. Exactly. And the thing is, it's like we've learned so much. It's like there's so many beer trends, and so you try to have something that is trendy. So like fruit sours and your hazy IPAs, now pilsners and lagers. I mean, your big biscuity, your big biscuity stouts. But we've always tried to absolutely keep something either on the hand engine. That's something you'd find in the UK.